It's funny when I see like posts or people talking about how they have a hard time with chit chat. They have a hard time with that like
Oh,
lukewarm conversation of like, oh, it's so sunny outside today. I'm like, did you know God made the sun? Like, like I sound like a nut so half the time, but like when you talk about maturity, you talk about like that spiritual depth of food. These are the things that we chew on as we become mature so that we can fast.
mm,
Okay. Hear that. So
mm,
understanding that fasting is a practice of obedience. And when you fast, you are hungry. Okay. You are hungry. It's just naturally going to happen. If Jesus did it for 40 days and 40 nights, we can too.
mm,
And how did he do that? It's because he was literally being filled by the Spirit every single moment of the time that he was there. Even
mm,
when Satan was combating him, the only way you can fight back is with the weapon of warfare, which is the word. And so even though you consider me mature, I'm only like almost 8 years into my spiritual walk
wow.
in this renewed spirit. I met the Lord when I was in middle school, gave my life to Christ when I was 14, and just pretty much went prodigal whenever I felt like it. And would come back and lead worship other days. And I would come back and lead the 5 a.m. high school Bible study. And then I would be at the party on Friday night. And so I think about that kind of rhythm, and that I feel like a lot of Christians are even living to this day, no matter if they would consider themselves prodigal or not. If anything, it's more just normalization of it being the way that we live. And so what
Mm,
if I'm at a party on Friday night and hungover on Saturday morning and I still smell like alcohol when I walk into church on Sunday? I'm going to church. I
mm,
love God. And I realize more and more that it's not about me trying to be good. It's about me trying to get to know Christ. And just like Jim Rohn, from a business perspective, those who are listening, it's an accountability perspective, but we're the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. You can surround yourself with that as your normal, but I want to surround myself with people like Jesus. And when Jesus is with rubbing shoulders with someone, there is an evident stench in the best way possible. It's an
yeah.
aroma of heaven that you want, because what does fruit smell like? Good fruit smells succulent. It
Mm,
smells amazing. I don't even have to eat the fruit. We did this earlier with our practice of drinking whatever. I'm drinking a
yeah.
cranberry lime soda. I can smell it, smells like cranberry. I can taste it, tastes like cranberry. When I'm around people who have that aroma of Christ, I feel full. Because I'm like, man, that is so sweet. Man, that is so rich. Man, that is so good. And so it was almost this deposit from heaven when it came, that I was running a mastermind previously during this exact time frame. And when I had laid that down, and I'm like, okay, God, this is Christmas time of last year, so a year ago. God, what am I going to do? I feel like I have all of this free time. And he says, great, let me multiply it. So in that, I said yes. And I think that's the biggest thing that we aren't good at, is just saying yes. You said it really well in association to this hour. You could do 1,000 other things with this hour, but you say yes to this time because you know you're going to be filled. You know there's going to be a testimony. You know you're going to have kindred connection. You know there's going to be depth. All of these things. I said yes, not knowing any of that, because I had yet to establish or be even in a space like this. Now, the intention really was, how do you bring entrepreneurs together to safely talk about the heartaches and the heartbreaks and the needs and the loneliness and the isolation that occurs in all of this? And to be honest, Chris, there's been very few conversations like that. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that?
That's why I was like, wait, that's what it's about?
That was what I thought it was about.
Like, right when you said that, I was like, you're not bringing together entrepreneurs, you're bringing together generals in God's army. Like, that's what it really is. And that's what you're bringing together, because these are powerhouses, in the kingdom. And, it's interesting because some of them don't even know it. Some of them get on there and they don't even know it. And so it's like you are leading generals. And so when you said, oh, this was for entrepreneurs, I'm like, Oh, I would have never known. I thought this is for like the serious believers.
Yes, it's the people who are crazy enough to say yes to God dreams. And I
Uh,
believe that's that entrepreneurial spirit that's being kind of just cultivated inside of the body of Christ. The variable to that, and I agree with what you're saying, is that we don't have to tagline what the world would call us. We just get to be God's kids.
mm,
And that's who shows up in this room is
mm,
children of God who are willing to fight the good fight and share the good news. And the way in which we do it doesn't really matter. There's no like networking, y'all. If you're thinking like you're coming and you're like, hi, my name is Tamra Andress and I have a Christian publishing house. And I don't even know what a majority of the people do unless I have cultivated a relationship with them intimately. It is literally like, what's God doing in your life right now?